What should the church's response be to the same-sex marriage issue? How has your church handled this? What should the Christian response be?
You know, the Bible says that marriage is to be held in esteem among all. And this is not marriage being held in esteem. This is blasphemy. This is blasphemy against God. This is wickedness of the worst kind. Homosexuality is unique among sins. Let me say that again. Homosexuality is unique among sins. You know, people want us to say, well, you know, all sin is the same, and that's not true. That's why Jesus said it will be worse for some on that day. So how can it be true that God just views all sin exactly the same, but Jesus says it will be worse for some, okay? Better for them to have a millstone tied around their neck and be cast into the deepest part of the sea. And he's talking about one who leads little ones astray. Homosexuality is unique among sins in this way. Number one, it's one of very few sins to be listed as an abomination. Not it's an abomination for Israel, but it's an abomination to God. For example, when you talk about things like their dietary laws and things like that, there were things that God said, this is an abomination for you, Israel, because you're separate as a people and you're not to be like those people, so it would be an abomination for you. Homosexuality is not an abomination for Israel, it's an abomination, period. Secondly, it's the only sin that has the distinction of being the cause of God raining fire and brimstone on the earth. There's no other sin that was the cause of God destroying twin cities, okay? Thirdly, it has the distinction of being a direct affront to the picture of the Godhead and of the picture of the relationship between Jesus Christ and his church. In these ways, homosexuality is a unique sin. Also, it's unique in that in the Romans 1 passage, in the devolution of culture, it's unique in that that's the sin for which Paul says men receive in their bodies the due penalty for their error. It's unique in that it, as a sin, is a direct affront to the image of God in man and the complementary way in which he made the human race. So this is wicked, and it's something that must be confronted. It must be confronted because of its implications for societies and cultures. It must be confronted because of its implications for the individuals practicing this. People who practice homosexuality have a rough go of it, man. It's tough. Their suicide rate is off the charts. Their domestic violence rate higher than any other group of individuals. Their contraction of sexually transmitted diseases, again, more than other groups or individuals. And not just sexually transmitted diseases, but other sort of maladies that are caused that we won't go into because there's young ears here, by this lifestyle. Their rate of alcoholism, higher than any other group that you can mention or name. This is something that's devastating to individuals, it's devastating to cultures, it's devastating to societies, and it has implications that undermines the future of cultures that embrace homosexual marriage because it undermines the very definition of marriage itself. It leads to the over-sexualization of young boys and young girls. I could go on, but there's huge implications to this particular issue. And the way that it's been sort of sold to us has been masterful in a very evil sort of way. Yeah.